that we're finding as well is you got to try and balance the element of skill versus an individual wanting to know that they had some sort of influence on the game.
Okay.
And that's always the most difficult thing I think that most manufacturers find is people feel as if they want some sort of element of participation in what the final result was.
Okay. Takahiro, Aruze is an Asian-based company. Do you believe that gives your games more of an advantage when they come on the floor because they have that more of the innate feel that the Chinese players enjoy?
Yes, the Sabi mentioned that adoption to the market is very important for manufacturing perspective. Very beginning, Aruze Gaming is not well-known company in, especially in the Asian regions, and I can see a couple of my friends and a customer here at this session, always asking them what's the product will be suit, and then how meet players' criteria from our library, and then keep exhibiting show like G2E. And then exhibit a product and then listen to customers and listen to players and how to adopt, especially Macau or Asia regions. As you mentioned, that they're pretty much high volatile game will be suit. But the other region like the US, a little bit different. US market or Asia region, Asia Pacific market, and in Europe and in South Africa, for example, if you look at the globally based, even one game may be different characteristic. And in ETG normally is the same math. So we successful for, let's say, our ETG library is good in Macau. But this is just like following traditional rule plus something new. A new idea offering to players so that the player can feel more excitement or get into the game. If you play at the back of a table, the player, squeeze the cards. But how to create that kind of fun on the electronic table game, like a player can feel something getting involved in the game. That kind of sense or like essence is very important to develop the new games.
Okay.
If I could just add, I think we'd all consider that the importance of making sure that your Asian games are, the games for this market are very much tailored for the market. So in that light, and I'm pretty sure IGT the same, we actually have Bally as a studio in China with about 40 people developing games for the Asian region. Whilst we develop in America, in India, and in Australia, we also develop in China. And that studio is always giving influence to games, even though they might be developed in the other market, but checking that what we're putting into the market is absolutely right from the language point of view, from the cultural point of view, and from the graphical point of view.
Okay.
If I can just add there, because I'm going to disagree with a few people on here. I'll have to disagree with Sabi at first.
That's why you're on the panel here.
I've got 3 vendors. There's a difference in players. Obviously, there's a split, I think, between entertainment players and true gambler players.
Okay.
Certainly, the entertainment player is growing. They want to see something new. They want to see something exciting. And that does draw that player. And it's still a good growth market.
Right.
Per dollar-wise, obviously, the 20% who are the volatile big gamblers are driving in 80% of the revenue like everywhere else.
Sure.
But I've been here 8 years, and I remember 8 years ago, we were getting sold, US 3-line, 5-line steppers. Putting into product, it took 6 or 7 years before, it actually took nearly 10 years before we've had a dual language proper game that's for this market, which the regulators have forced on us, and it's been a good thing. But now we're starting to see true Asian graphics, Asian-centric machines which focus towards the true Asian player, not what we called the Panda Express Asian, which was coming in saying, hey, we'll put a little panda on there or a little curly roof, and that's what the Asian players want. So now we're seeing the good math in the game, the right colors, the right numbers, the lucky elements, and we're seeing fantastic growth on those products.
Okay.
And I look around the show yesterday and I see so many other vendors have actually learned in the last two years and jumped on that curve. So I think the next 3 to 4 years we'll see some really good product for this area, and we'll probably see slots growth coming back up.
Okay. How about community games that have been so big in the U.S. and Australia? Are they popular here? Do people just want to go one-on-one?
Not as popular in the fact of the community games like the Williams products,
Right.
or any of those type games have not seen much popularity.
Right.
It's more communal in the multi-terminals, I guess, or the round type full,
Right.
we call multi-terminal full electronic table product. That is a more communal play where you get people play together and look at the results, but not in the traditional slots.
The communal play is, it's sort of difficult to understand. You know, you're right, some of the products that have come out here that have been set up as community type games haven't worked in the market. But it's interesting, we have a link out there, Do Fu Do Chai, and what's interesting, when you get the feature, or when you get the jackpot on that, we're seeing players on the machines beside watching the other people getting the celebration. So there's a possibility that you can get that to work somehow. We just haven't all figured it out yet. And it's like designing games is not an exact science. It's the hardest thing in the world to do.
Sabby, I know IGT, like Bally, has a design studio in China. Do you also use independent game designers for Asian games as well?
We do. Again, you know, the thing we try and do is make sure that whoever the best course of, you know, whoever has the best expertise, right? And different individuals or different groups are brought in at different stages. So, you know, the math and everything, we have a studio here, but we have, you know, 7 other studios across the whole of the globe. So we try and use individuals and mathematicians from as much as we can internally, because sometimes that ends up being your own secret sauce that you want to try and protect. Then it's really a case of using those third parties to really try and fill in the small gaps when you try and find a specific market, because we're talking about, you know, Asia or Macau, but, you know, every single jurisdiction across Asia has a different set of requirements. Slightly different type of individuals, slightly different regulations. Sure. So you just got to make sure that, you know, you use all the resources around you for the right opportunity.
Okay. Every time I come to Macau, I try to come a couple of days early, and I take a tour of the casinos here in Cotai and on the peninsula. And this time I noticed